Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Folks, did you know that termites could be doing damage to your home right now? The flying swarmers that you see, they're not going to be out until the summer, but that doesn't mean that the worker termites, those that aren't flying around, aren't working right now. They are. They can work right on through the winter. They could be gnawing at your home at this moment. Call the locally owned experts at Southeast Termite and Pest Control for a free inspection. Free inspection, no cost to you. They come out, look, see if you have termite issues, and then they would give you an estimate, and then you go from there. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. I know these folks, very impressed with these folks. If you call them, you're going to like them. I'm telling you, Southeast Termite and Pest Control. All right, back with Mike Strange, Jimmy Hyams, Mark Pancratz, Houston Fancher. A couple of quick basketball questions here, very quick. Mike and Jimmy, I'm going to give you the first one. There was a lot of talk last year that Cuonzo Martin was only winning with Bruce Pearl's players. Let me show you some stats right here. 4 of the top 5 scorers were Cuonzo Martin guys this year. 4 of the top 5 rebounders are Cuonzo Martin guys. Do we now have to say that Donnie Tyndall is winning with Cuonzo Martin's players?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. They're the most mature players on the team. They're the ones that are contributing the most by far.
Well, yeah, they're players that were left behind, but I think Tyndall's done a really good job, and I'm not so sure that Cuonzo would have had as many wins. And I'll say this too, I don't think Bruce Pearl would have got as much out of McCray and Maimon as Cuonzo Martin did. No. So winning with somebody else's players is...
I put it in there because I think it's silly. People say it all the time, well, if you don't like a coach, you say, well, he's winning with the last guy's players. Well, he's still winning. I've always found that to be kind of a silly. When your recruiting drops off and you're not winning, then you can say, well, he won with somebody else's players. But guys like Les Miles, I don't think he's just a guy who took care of Nick Saban's leftovers anymore.
Yeah, and they're all playing different roles than they did last year, so that changes the equation too.
In a totally different system.
Yeah, that was my thing. Donnie's winning with his players, but in his system. His system is what's making the impact on this roster.
Absolutely.
Do we ever say Bruce Pearl won with Buzz Peterson's players?
Yes.
To go back to that. You know, we can go back to that. That's mentioned every year with every new coach that comes in.
Yeah. That was the reason I threw it out there was kind of just to shoot it down. So because I get tired of hearing it. All right. Next thing, Mark in Houston. Bruce Pearl teared up. We asked last week, would he cry? He's an emotional guy. He did, and this is what happened after the game yesterday on ESPN.
Bruce, you look emotional after this one. What are you feeling right now?
There's a song being played right now that we heard a few times. So proud of my team. They battled. They tried to play hard for me. They really did. So I'm happy for Donnie, and it's just great to see Tennessee basketball, continue to be strong.
What was the most difficult part of this whole situation coming back?
Well, it's just understanding that this will always be a part of me, but it's in the history books, and most of that history is really, really good, and I'm trying to make history now in Auburn and continue to represent the SEC as well as I possibly can.
Are you happy this is behind you?
I mean, no, because this was a game. I've still got friends and family here, so it's never quite behind. I'm never gonna, it's never gonna be. It's always gonna be part of me. So I got to focus on trying to figure out how to get my guys up for the next game because we've lost a few in a row here, and I love my players and I'm proud of them.
All right, Houston, Mark, you guys coach for him, you know him. Thoughts on his response yesterday?
Well, a big piece of him is still left here. I mean, he's got family and friends here, and whether or not he wants to believe it or people around him want to believe it, he did want to be here. He wanted to come back and be Tennessee's coach. And so walking in the arena, it was hard for him. And to lose, it was like a piece of him, a big monkey off his shoulders. But yet he was really disappointed. It was a tough day on his family and everybody around him.
Staff and family crying post-game in the media area. Houston, very quickly.
I think it's just true raw emotion. I think it is. We said that last week. There was a 100% chance he was going to cry, and it certainly came to pass.
I would say this. Oh, go ahead.
And a big point thing is, even after our show, he says, "Go Vols" and War Eagle. See, that's a piece. If you're Auburn, for us it's fine. But if you're Auburn people, that's where it's a little bit different. Do you want to be here or do you want to be Auburn?
Exactly. If I'm paying him $2 million at Auburn, and he ends a game and says, "It's just so good to see Tennessee doing well," I'm wondering, why am I paying you $2 million? I'm paying you $2 million not to cry. That's what I'm paying you $2 million for. But certainly raw emotions yesterday from Bruce Pearl, who did leave a lot here. And I think obviously we all make mistakes in our lives, every last one of us. And he made a big one that unfortunately he has to look back on and say that cost me just a great gig. And that has to hurt him and his family. All right, when we come back, we got some more football to talk about. Nathan Peterman and a rat. We'll discuss Arian Foster. Come on back on the Sports Source.